This is the Padres POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the San Diego Padres. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to your Padres POSTCAST. Yours, that's right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Shout out to David Locke and all the guys and girls and peeps of the Locked On Podcast Network. The rising tide keeps on rising, baby, and the numbers keep on going through the roof. So thank you for making us an important part of your day, your team every day, after all, and always free right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. My name is Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease. The Padres in Cincinnati today, trying to even up this series at a game apiece after yesterday's debacle, and they got smoked by the Reds, and today didn't start off all that well. Looked like they might be going down the same path. Fell behind big early, and yeah, it took a lot of late magic offensively and another magnificent performance from the bullpen, but the Padres get the W, 6-4 in the Queen City, Cincinnati, I believe that's what it's called, and I got some good food out there. I know that, but man, oh man, good win for the Padres. They're all good wins, aren't they? And we are so happy to have you here. So on that note, attitude of gratitude, baby. Thank you so much for making Padres POSTCAST and Locked On Padres Podcast your first watch, first listen, or your second every single day. You know we're free on YouTube, live right after the games is when I'm on. Hobby comes out every day, just about every day with a new episode of Padres Podcast. The POSTCAST live on YouTube right after the last out of every game. And then, of course, we upload wherever you download, Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, Podbean, iHeart, you name it, right there where you get your podcasts. And then finally, you down with OTT. Yeah, you know me. It used to be OPP, but I'm gray everywhere. And I can't say anything. First of all, I want to say thank you guys for bearing with me. Yesterday, I took the day off. My daughter had a baby. I'm a grandfather for the first time. I prefer the name OG Pa. She wants me to go by Grampy. We'll see what little Miles calls his OG Pa. That's right. So my daughter Jaden and her guy Adolphus, beautiful. So grandfather for the first time, 3 hours on ESPN radio, breaking down UFC 317, and now right here with you on your Padres POSTCAST, which is brought to you today by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 on your first purchase. What time is it? Okay, ora. It is game time. All right, Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease, Padres POSTCAST and the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And what a night it is to be in San Diego. Celebrate the Padres win, have a great time, and maybe you're in the Queen City of Cincinnati enjoying that as well. All right, what do you say we kick this thing into high gear? We give you the ins, the outs, the ups, the downs, the who's, the hows, and all the other things in between. Padres POSTCAST, Locked On Podcast Network, let's roll.
This is what you'll be talking about.
What we are talking about is the Gavin Sheets game, man. Gavin Sheets with a huge performance for the Padres. And we're going to give you, of course, we have the turning point coming up. We have the player of the game coming up. Gavin Sheets really heavily involved in both of those. Obviously, the bullpen, phenomenal. We'll give you the rundown, the scoring summary, the box, who did what, and you know how we do right here on your Padres POSTCAST. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease, the 6-4 win in Cincinnati for the Padres. And again, we'll call this the Gavin Sheets game. I mean, you think about it. I'll give you a little bit of a game summary here first and foremost, and we'll hit the recap for you. But the game summary goes a little something like this. Hit it. All right, so Randy Vasquez started for the Padres, went 4 1/3 innings, gave up 9 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, and struck out 3. And for the Reds, Andrew Abbott, the Padres really didn't hit him much at all today. He pitched 5 innings, 7 hits, 1 earned run. They couldn't get those runs across. Martin Maldonado struck out in the second and then was robbed on a nice defensive play in the fourth with runners on base. And so Abbott only allowed that 1 run, and he left the game with a nice lead. Again, 12 hits for the Padres, 10 for the Reds. But Gavin Sheets, 3 for 5, 2 doubles, a homer, 3 RBIs for the Pods. Jake Cronenworth, 1 for 3, a home run, 2 RBIs as they hit 3 home runs today, did the Padres. And then Matt McLain, 2 for 5 with 2 singles, an RBI, and a run for the Reds. The bullpen, 4 innings pitched, 5 hits, and 5 earned runs with 2 home runs allowed. And then, of course, on top of that, you look at what the Padres were able to do out of their bullpen. So when you had a terrible outing from the Cincinnati Reds bullpen and you had a great outing from the San Diego Padres bullpen, That's a big difference in the game right there, man, because Vasquez, I said, 4 1/3, 9 hits, 4 runs, all earned, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, 94 pitches for him in the heat and humidity of Cincinnati. The ball's bouncing out of there like crazy. So Bryan Hoeing back off the injured list, goes an inning and 2/3. He picks up the win. Benefited from a game-changing defensive play by Gavin Sheets in left field. I'm all over Sheets all the time. The jumps he gets on balls, the plays he doesn't make in left field, the angles he takes, the path, whatever. This catch was an absolute thing of beauty. You can see the work paying off. All right, Adrian Morejon, brilliant again, scoreless inning. Jason Adams, scoreless inning. Robert Suarez, 2 strikeouts, scoreless inning. Got Spencer Steer, you remember that fool who hit 3 home runs yesterday? Yeah, against us. Well, struck him out. The last 3 fastballs for Suarez with 2 on and 2 out in the bottom of the 9th inning in a 6-4 game with the winning run at the plate in the form of Steer, who again hit the 3 homers yesterday. You just have to get the bat on the ball against Suarez, right? Think Altuve or Oldest Chapman. All you do is get the bat on the ball, right? 100+ miles an hour. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. You and your team. Get on up. Get on out. So there you have it. The Padres with the 6-4 win. Brilliant job all the way across the board by the bullpen. Just gave you the rundown there. Talked about Sheets in his game. Arise also homered for the Padres, and I should give you the quick rundown. The Reds scored 1 in the first, 2 in the second as they were, really getting things going early in this game. I mean, very good job. And Andrew Abbott was phenomenal, right? So you got the lineup for the Padres today. Arise led off again. Fernando was in the 4-hole. Machado and Merrill 2 and 3. And Manny's in the MVP race. He had a single in the first inning and not much going for the Padres there. And Gavin Lux singles in McLean in the first inning. And it was 1-0 Cincinnati already, right? Second inning for the Padres. Maldonado strikes out swinging with 2 on and 2 out. Sheets with a double. Cronenworth with a walk. So the inning's over there. Second inning for the Reds. Meanwhile, Friedel singles to center. Hines scores. And McLean singles in Espinal. It is 3-0. 2 runs on 4 hits for the for the Reds, rather. And it's 3-0. Then in the top of the third, Abbott gets 1, 2, 3. Arise, Machado, Merrill. Top 3 guys in the lineup. Easy peasy. Vasquez gets his first and only 1, 2, 3 inning in the bottom of the third. And then in the 4th inning, the Padres had something going. You kind of thought, hey, they're going to get something going and score here. Tatis fouls out, rather. Bogart singles. He's back in the lineup. Good to see that. Sheets doubles. He was brilliant all day long. And again, he ripped the double down the right field line. Iglesias walks, and then Cronenworth lines out, and Maldonado grounds out. Inning over. You have a chance right there. Meanwhile, Vasquez is hitting his groove. He allowed a 2-out single in the 4th, but that was it. And then in the 5th, Arise leads off with a homer. It's 3-1. They threaten a little bit with a Merrill single and a Tatis Jr. infield hit, but then Bogart strikes out, and Sheets makes an out. Didn't do that often today. Grounds out to first. It's still 3-1. So the Padres are knocking on heaven's door. All day long, they're just knocking on the door, right? They're knocking. They can't just break it in. Couldn't do it. And so they just had to keep trying to chip. And then the bullpen starts taking over, steadying this team with Hoeing. We've seen it so many times, right? Sheets makes the grab and left. Hoeing's doing his job, and Morejon and Adam and Suarez. And, as the game's progressing, Hoeing doing his job, getting him out. Top of the 7th, the Padres strike again, and this is when things got really crazy. Actually, it was the top of the 6th. Top of the 7th was the Sheets homer that put them ahead. Top of the 6th, Jake Cronenworth with a 2-run shot to right center. It was well over 400 feet, and that made it 4-3 Cincinnati, because Arise had made it 3-1, and then the Reds came back at Stevenson sacrifice fly, made it 4-1. So it's 3-0. Arise homers. It's 3-1. Reds score again. It's 4-1. Then Cronenworth, 2-run shot scoring Iglesias, who's been playing great lately. Iglesias led off the inning with a single. Then the bullpens hold. Then in the top of the 7th, Jackson Merrill doubles to right. Tatis flies out to right, up against the wall. Merrill goes to third. Bogarts walks. And for goodness sakes, the Sheets is high. I'm out. You out? ABC ya. Bye. Gavin Sheets, the 2-run shot, and he absolutely 3-run shot. He absolutely crushed this ball. Merrill and Bogey come in. Now, Gavin Sheets hit this ball halfway up the seats in right field in Cincinnati. It was hit so hard, the fans all got out of the way. No one tried to catch it. It hit the seats so hard, it bounced all the way back almost onto the field. It was hit so hard. Sheets murdered. He loves playing in this park. He murdered the ball all day today. All right, Padres Postcast, Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day, 6-4, the final, 1-1 in the series, the Padres and the Reds in Cincinnati. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease. Padres Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Still to come, the turning point. Still to come, your player of the game. And still to come, we look at the rubber match tomorrow. Early, you ever hear breakfast at Wimbledon, right? Well, how about this, man? Brunch with the Pods. We got to come up with a better name. So if you are here live right now on YouTube, smash that subscribe, hit the bell so you get alerted when we're coming your way with more content. Myself and Javier Reyes, Locked On Padres Podcast, also free on all these platforms, same as me every day. So a sub for me is a sub for him, a comment for me, a mailbag question, any of those things for him and for me. All right. And we are free after the fact. As soon as we're done with the live postcast on YouTube, we go to Stitcher, Podbean, Spotify, Apple, iHeart. Right? And you do that on the podcast side, wherever you download or listen to your podcasts. And then we're also free on Roku. You down with OTT? Yeah, you know me, this whole party. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease. All that coming your way and more on the show. But first, we give you a little, what time is it? I'm wondering. You have any idea? Que hora? It is, it is access denied to the commercial. That's funny. Here we go. Come on. And this week, I'm smooth as silk on this and everything looks great. And then bam, nope. No. Access denied. Your access in particular is denied to this commercial. But what can't be denied is how dope Game Time is. Have you ever decided at the last minute to head to a ball game with friends or family? Maybe it's game day and you suddenly realize you want to be in the stands. That's exactly where you should be, and that's exactly where Game Time comes in. It's the easiest way to grab last-minute tickets without the stress. With the money you save on tickets, you can splurge on food, drinks, merch, or even invite a bigger group to come with you. Game Time makes it possible. Game Time makes buying tickets fast and simple. Prices on the app actually drop the closer you get to first pitch, and they've got incredible last-minute deals, clear seat views, and a lowest price guarantee that takes the worry out of buying. Game Time is the official ticketing partner of Locked On MLB, making it easy to browse the app for an exciting upcoming MLB game, like, I don't know, maybe one at Petco Park, the best park in Major League Baseball. Last-minute deals, zone deals, savings like 10% off, exclusive zone deals for FIFA, Club World Cup matchups, and more, all on Game Time. And seat views right in the app before you buy, so you can just kind of look away. Hey, I'm going to turn this way. I'm going to look this way. What's it going to look like when Fernando hits that home run? Oh, it's amazing, right? Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply, don't they always? Again, create an account and redeem the code LOCKEDONMLB, LOCKEDONMLB, for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Game Time on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team, yours, every single day. And, of course, my name is Jim Greasehaber. My boys call me Grease. You know what I mean? And my family calls me Jimmy. You can call me whatever you want, but I'll tell you this. Call me that while you're subscribing, while you're hitting the bell, and while you're coming on in with the comments. Big win, San Diego, 6-4 the final. Gavin Sheets game today. Just in case I missed anything, let me just take a look at this game recap. It's rare that, you're watching these games, you get the formula, like the DOC said. It's the formula. You get the formula down, right? And once you get that formula down, UB's all right. Meanwhile, how about the Giants losing to the Marlins, 8-5? I got to check that out. I don't know if that score still holds right now. Hey, it's your tomorrow. But the Padres are, let me see here. Come on. Padres are 6 games back of the Dodgers, a half game ahead of the Giants, who are 6.5 back. The D-Bags are 10 games out. Dodgers dealing right now. Ohtani threw a pitch 101.7 miles an hour. It's crazy, right? All right, here we go with the Padres right now. Gavin Sheets, go ahead, 3-run homer in the 7th inning. The Pods rally. They were down 3-0. They were down 4-1. They win 6-4 at Cincinnati. They were no hit for 8 innings last night in an 8-1 loss. And you had a beautiful job to break that up, by the way. In the 9th inning by the Pods, their bats woke up today against the bullpen of the Reds. Cronenworth with a 2-run shot in the 6th off Scott Barlow to make it 4-3. Sheets made it 6-4 with a 420-foot blast to right center against Lyon Richardson. Bryan Hoeing, 5 outs in relief of Randy Vasquez to get the win. Suarez saved number 23, struck out Spencer Steer with first and second, runners on first and second and 2 outs. Steer representing the game-winning run after he had hit 3 home runs yesterday. Jason Adam had a strong 8th inning for the Padres. Andrew Abbott, as I'm reading things here, had another strong start for the Reds. 4-1 lead after 5 innings, allowed the home run to arise, and that was it. Sheets, 3 for 5, 2 doubles, saved a run with a diving catch. It was the Sheets game. And how about the moment of silence with the Reds? Hall of Famer Dave Parker passed away, 79 years old. The Cobra, one of the best arms I've ever seen from right field or any outfield position for that matter. And 1978 MVP, 2-time batting champ, the Cobra, died at 79 after a long battle with Parkinson's disease. Cronenworth hit his 7th home run of the season, kickstarted the offense a little bit. Abbott's ERA is only 1.79 through 102 pitches, though, in 5 innings. You know what I mean? And that's crazy. Absolutely crazy. He hasn't thrown enough innings to qualify. He's only thrown 80 in the 3rd inning, so he's not leading the league in ERA. Real quick, Stephen Kolek, 3-3, 3.95 ERA. Will start the finale at 10:10 a.m. tomorrow. It's Pacific time against Nick Lodolo on the Dolo, 5-5, 3.63 as the series comes a concluding. You know what I'm saying? I am not playing. And real quick, I got one more thing to remind you of. Access denied. Denied. They don't want me in. They don't want me to tell you about Locked On MLB Game Night, which, by the way, Locked On MLB Game Night, if you're not watching, after you watch me, after every game, after you watch Javier Reyes every day with Locked On Padres podcast, just about every day. He's been doing well. Shout out to Javi, back to full health and doing a great job as always. After you watch us day in and day out, YouTube, Roku, and listen, download, Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Stitcher, Podbean. After you do all that, you want to make sure you check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. It's every game, every night, all season long. Local analysis on a national scale. You can find MLB Game Night. This is the key. Listen up. Locked On MLB Game Night on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. All right, wrapping it up right here. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease. Padres Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. The 6-4 comeback win ties the series at a game apiece, and we have just a couple of more things to do before we get on out, and that would be a couple of the benchmarks here. First things first, I Grease bring you
time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
The turning point would probably be when they took Vasquez out of the game and went to the bullpen, because the Arise home run, look, the Reds jumped out to the 3-0 lead after 2 innings, 1 in the first, 2 in the second. Pods threatened in the second, threatened in the fourth, nothing, doing there. They got the home run from Arise in the 5th to make it 3-1, right? And then the Reds come back and score in the 5th to make it 4-1. Padres get 2 in the 6th on Jake Cronenworth's homer. The night's already over by then for Randy Vasquez. So when they came and got Randy Vasquez, that was the turning point in the game, because the Padres bullpen, and this is not a smear or a knock on Vasquez. I want to make that very clear. But when they got Vasquez out of the game after 4 1/3, look, it's after the home run, right? He gave up all 4 earned runs, 9 hits, getting ripped on 94 pitches. It just wasn't his day, right? So the turning point comes when you bring Hoeing in. He goes an inning and 2/3. Morejon an inning. Adam an inning. Suarez an inning. No runs allowed by the bullpen. 1 hit allowed by the bullpen. 2 walks given up by Suarez. Otherwise, none by anybody else. But Suarez, 2 strikeouts. Adam, 2 strikeouts. You know what I'm saying? The bullpen absolutely dominated today for the Padres. So the turning point was when they got Vasquez out of the game. And obviously that leaves us with just one more thing. What do you think we're going to do next? And who in the world do you think it could be? Come on, San Diego.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Come on. Gavin Sheets. I give him a lot of crap trying to play left field. And look, he's not a great left fielder. He's not the best middle of the lineup guy. I'd love him in the 6. If Gavin Sheets is your 6 hitter and you have a stud in that 4 hole, and I know you're messing around with Fernando and moving him back and forth. I don't know about leadoff or 4 hole for him. I love Arise in the 1 or the 2 hole. Manny's great in the 2 hole. Manny'd be great at the 5 hole. He could stay at 3, but they need that middle of the lineup killer. I don't think they're going to do anything first base wise. I could be wrong, but Cronenworth, they love him. And, you can't just move Arise back and say, hey, well, they could, but, that left field position. You need that big bat in the middle and left field, and I would love to see that. That makes Sheets a 6-hole hitter, but his play out there today on a diving stab that literally saved the game for San Diego and could be a turning point as well. I'd say when they got Vasquez out of the game was a huge turning point, but man, oh man, with Hoeing on the mound, Hines lines out to left, and just an incredible job by Sheets, who lays out up against the foul line. The glasses came off. He went just parallel, flat on the ground. Beautiful head-first diving grab by Gavin Sheets, your star of the game. All right, so tomorrow these teams wrap up this series, right? And I mentioned you're 6 games behind the Dodgers, a half a game ahead of the Giants, 4 games ahead of the D-Bags. And tomorrow you finish up this 3-gamer. Remember, you got some favorable games in series coming up that you could do really well, whereas the Dodgers and Giants have feasted on the weak sisters of the blind for about as long as you're about to, right? And you got to take advantage of those opportunities. But meantime, the Padres going to try to close off the series with a win. Lodolo is 5-5 with a 3.33. Kolek 3-3 with a 3.95. The Reds are at minus 135 on the money line, plus 115 for the Pods. On the run line, Pods plus 1.5, Reds minus 1.5. That's going to do it for your Padres postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease. 6-4 the final. Nice comeback win for the Pods. It was all Gavin Sheets in the bullpen today. Let's see what they can do tomorrow behind Steven Kolek. That's all there is, Pods fans. There is no more. Your Padres postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. We'll be back again tomorrow after the game. Till then, keep your game tight and your mind right. Good night, San Diego. 6-4 Padres, the final.